Працювали над тим, щоб завчити два слова, дві дисципліни. Дякую і перепрошую. There's nothing more important in life than having the capacity to be grateful, to understand that everything is gift. Everything is gift, each beat of our heart. When's the last time you were pushing your heart to beat? Checking whether it's beat. It's going once every second. It's a gift. The nails grow. So does the hair if you have it. Дякую. Дякую вам. Богові дякую. І треба вміти вибачитися. It's so important to say, I'm sorry. We live now at a time when there is not an overwhelming phenomenon of reconciliation. We're dividing. A lot of things are coming unglued in society, in politics, and even in the church. We need to really acknowledge the truth of our weaknesses and be able to say to God and to our brothers and sisters, we're sorry. And doesn't that open up our hearts? Doesn't a good argument and a good reconciliation strengthen a marriage? I'm asking because I don't know. Kuzma, nobody wanted me. What do you want? So, well, it's not maybe totally true. Ruta Chauhan asked me to her senior prom. So, you've heard a lot of good things about Uku. And I want to test you so that you can carry the good news home. Did you know that 40% of the new students in the computer studies program got perfect scores on their SATs? 40%. And the computer has the highest incoming average SAT score. I say SAT because it's called ZNO in the whole country. And that has happened because of this banquet right here in New York. I can't remember which hotel it was, maybe 5 years ago. When I shared with you that we have outstanding programs, and we've got all these great students, talented students that want to study at the school, but they can't because they're poor. And if they go to a state school, they get their studies for free, and they get actually a scholarship in the pocket. Banquet ended, and Krista Slavodzka said goodbye. I already said bye to Adrian. And she slips me a yellow piece of paper that is still kept at Uku, which said, you said you need scholarships for those talented poor students. Christian and I are going to give you $1 million. And that changed things right here in New York. It can be $1 million, but it can also be that friendship and presence. John, how many banquets have there been here?
16.
16 banquets. New York started it all. You saw it on the film. This is a test. How many committees are there globally? 21 committees started here, right here. 21 committees globally with 3 foundations. The next goal is to have the best faculty. You'll be hearing more about this. We want to draw the best faculty from the world. We won't be able to pay them as the University of Texas does with the oil money. University of Texas in the last 30 years just bought a bunch of Nobel Prize winners. But we'll get the kind of people like Jeffrey Wills, who you've met before, or people like John Curry, who dedicate their lives, and you know they're quick, they're fast, they're efficient, they're creative. People like our ambassador, Brinkley and his wife Mary. They're not doing it for the money. But what grace, what finesse, what depth, what global experience is being brought to the education of these students. So the best faculty, we need to house the students, and we have to finish that collegium. For the first time, we've borrowed money for a $9 million building. We've gotten a loan of 6 point something, correct me? 6.5 from American government agency. Very low interest. The interest is lower than the inflation rate, both here and in Ukraine, which means we're making money on it. But we need $2 more million for that to finish by September. There's building, there's great students, there's outstanding international network of just beautiful people, talented people, professional people of the highest level who are contributing to the cause that you believed in first. So that's some of the good news to remember and take home. But let me tell you about some problems. I don't think I've ever done this before. Do you tell donors problems? Can I do that?
No.
So, Ambassador Brinkley was an outstanding senator for many reasons. But one of the reasons I think so was because he was my partner in arms, or I supported him in votes on the board that said no. I think this is important for you to know, because one of our problems is that so many people, the church, the government, business, education, in Ukraine, outside of Ukraine, wants to partner with UKU. It says, you got to do this. Like everybody's telling me, you got to do this. At least 10 people told me you have to rest more. I'm reading how you're traveling around. But basically, everybody says, you got to be at my event. So everybody's asking UKU to do this. One thing, another, different school, different faculty. And Ambassador Brinkley and I were kind of the naysayers the last few years. We blocked a few projects. We blocked the high school at UKU because we thought it would be mission driven. And we're not ready for it. It's a great idea. It's an outstanding idea. But we can't do it without sacrificing the quality of other things at the university. And so we said no. Robert and I led the charge. Robert, what else did we block? Only things that had to be blocked here. 4 years ago, after giving in for 2 years, I thought UKU was growing too fast. Robert supported me in this. We began the conversation 4 years ago. I was giving in, I'm in Paris, I don't see things, maybe I don't understand. There's all this enthusiasm, people want to do things. University's growing, doubling, tripling. But 2 years ago I said, that's it. With Robert's support, and we put a moratorium on new programs. Because the quality that you support, the quality that you want, the quality that our students needs extreme vigilance. care. And so we had a moratorium for 2 years on new programs. Now, 2 years went by quickly, and the team was working. And there's a new program that was presented at the Senate. The Senate is the board of directors. I didn't think the moratorium was over, but actually the time had lapsed. And the new program is going to be a program in law. UKU is opening a law school. It had a law school. It had a master's program. I think they're called LLMs. But that doesn't require that many faculty. But a full undergraduate, all the law schools are undergraduate. You don't go to law school after college. It's very difficult. And they went through the financials, they went through the program. I no longer have questions about programs at UKU. When theology was being set up, history, these were things that I knew a lot about and couldn't put much past me, really. I'll say it modestly. The law, computers, health sciences. I turned to the experts. And the experts were there. You heard Robert read most of the mission statement. For me and for UKU, that's the most important thing. We're supposed to be true to our mission. There's 200 universities in Ukraine. There's thousands. There's probably 1,300 Catholic universities and other institutions of higher learning in the world. When I counted 5 years ago, there were 244 in the U.S. Being number 245, 1,301, or the 15,000th university in the world is not why you come to this banquet and share with us your hard-earned resources. It's the mission. I don't know if you heard that 2 weeks ago the Pope canonized a great man. One of the best writers of the English language, at least in the 19th century. Cardinal John Henry Newman, who wrote a book called The Idea of University. If you don't know who he is, John Henry Newman, look him up and get his books. It'll lift you. In The Idea of University, he said the university has to be universal. It has to embrace everything. What for us, Christians, what for us is a university that doesn't open up the life of a young person to the experience of God? There's one thing sure, we're going to pass from this world. And either it's an abyss in a black hole, or else we meet our Creator. And I had questions about this law school program. How are you going to help law students grow in their spiritual life? And I said, you know what? Until I have an answer, this program isn't going forward. I said, I'll work with you, but you know what? I can't come to Ukraine. You have to come to me. So Svetlana came to Washington last week. Svetlana runs the academic part, but there's Ivan Borodinsky, who is head of the law school. And Ivan came too. And the dean, who's above them, came. Vladimir Turchanovsky, the dean of the School of Social Sciences, where the law school is found. And we sat and we worked for a few days. And we came to a consensus. And the law school is going to go forward. But it will not go forward if it doesn't support the mission. It will not go forward if it doesn't support the standards that you set. I wanted Світлана to be at this banquet. Я хотів, щоб Світлана тут була. Може, вона щось кудись напише, скаже. Бо я хотів, щоб вона побачила вас. Щоб вона могла викладачам і студентам, так як це вже роблять багато наших викладачів і навіть студентів, щоб вона, Світлана, могла прийти і сказати, я дивилася в очі цим жертводавцям, які десятки років підтримують патріарха Йосифа, думку УКУ. Я бачила їхні очі, і, друзі, ми не можемо опускатися. We cannot let the bar down. So there are issues, there are problems. But we're going to face them. We're not going to step back from them. Today, UKU is setting standards for corporate existence in Ukraine. Politicians, business people, artists, intellectuals, and just simple people come to the university to get some hope. To be convinced that, it's possible, because I see it, it's here. You can live without stabbing each other in the back. You can live without stealing. You can live sharing, supporting each other. Now, it's not yet heaven. There are issues, there's life. But when you can say thank you and I'm sorry, and you build on that, something incredible happens. Я дуже зворушений є, знаєте, в цих місяцях. Це таке повернення, знаєте, мандрівка. Я в Італії жив 5 років. 6 років в Франції, Бенелюксі, Швейцарії. Рік я жив в Польщі, майже рік в Радянському Союзі і більше ніж 20 років в Україні. Я до Франції не хотів їхати, дехто, може, це знає. I went to France kicking and screaming. I didn't want to go. But what a grace it was to start again from scratch almost. It's an incredible eparchy. The priests, what a team. It's like якийсь духовний десант такий, як то по-українському, how do you say десант? Paratroopers, it's like, we were so poor. Can you imagine a diocese support of the bishop, all staff and all activity for 5 countries, 35,000 euros. It was so sad we left. That's how it was, really cool, 25, 28 years ago. And now we have our fellowship here in the United States. Я вам всім настільки дякую за теплоту зустрічі і прийому, який я переживаю останні 5 місяців. Завтра буде 5 місяців вже. І я не знаю, чи honeymoon може, can you have a 5-month honeymoon? Because I've been waiting, for the opposition, the critique, the negative articles. Well, one appeared this week. It's been fantastic. And, I can honestly say I've been giving 200%. I visited 35 churches in the summer. We went twice to Ukraine for business in the Synod. And talking, listening to a lot of people. He's one of them. There were a few opportunities to talk with Pope Francis. He's struggling. It's tough. It's tough to be a priest. Fathers, we're walking around with a target on our back. Bishops have just a big red spot. And being archbishops, well, we're in the same category. But it's really, that's the most difficult job. And I want to ask you to pray for the Pope. I know he loves Ukraine. We had 2 days with him. And I think maybe you, if you haven't read it, read my article about those 2 days. Google it. You know what I'm talking about with the Pope in those 2 days? A problem with universities. We talked about the war, everybody was talking about that. He took the top leadership and 11 of us Ukrainian bishops, leadership of the Vatican, and sat us down for 2 days so we could inform the Holy See about what is going on in our church. And I'll publish, I had 2 of our 6 presentations. One was a SWOT analysis of our global church, warts and all. And the second was about the humanitarian crisis and the refugee issue and the immigrants of our church and our people. That was a general topic. But when I got a chance to speak personally with the Holy Father, I spoke about an issue that pains me. The Catholic Church is probably the oldest global institution which continues to function and grow. There have never been as many Catholics as there are today. This idea that the church and Christianity is failing and flawed. It's flawed, but it's growing. There's ever more. Maybe not on our street or our city, but on different continents, the number of Christians is growing. And it's outpacing our feebleness and faithfulness. And the Catholic Church in the medieval period gave birth to what is today, I think, the most popular, most respected institution everywhere, and that's the university. Everybody wants their kids to go to university. People will pay an arm and a leg to send their children to university. You respect and support the Ukrainian Catholic University because universities are so important. And for me, it's a matter of tears that today, often between the so-called church, however people define that, and the Catholic University, there's a distance of fear and mistrust. And I think it's so important for the future of the world, for the future of the church, and for the future of universities, for the future of young people, that mistrust and fear be lowered. And I began a conversation with the Pope and with the president of Notre Dame University. I spoke about it at Georgetown last week. It's going to take time. It's going to take 25 years. But I want you to know that the Ukrainian Catholic University is addressing what I think is the most important question in Catholic university experience globally. And one of the most important questions for the Catholic Church. We can't be against each other. We need to be together. We can only do that if we have wings. If Father Bodan Prak has, an outstanding staff in the administration, and secretaries that know 5 languages. We only can do that if our academic programs are of the quality that earn respect in that global conversation. We need an architecture that articulates what we stand for. The beginning is there with that new campus. We need the best faculty. We need to widen that network. There's 3 foundations now. Maybe in 5 years we'll have 5. There's 21 cities. Only 2 are in Ukraine. I hope in 5 years there will be 20 cities in Ukraine that have committees. But a lot of it started here. Thank you for being initiators. Thank you for being leaders. Because the university that you support, I venture to say, is going to make a global contribution. This is no longer a university just for the Ukrainian ghetto, so to speak. The Ukrainian nation only. New York believed when we started coming here 20 years ago. May God bless you. May God bless all of those who are no longer here. Вчора ми поминали пані Славу Рубей. Недавно відійшла пані Ірина Клюфес, яка виховала цілу родину донорів нашого університету. Покоління моїх батьків представлене лише вже кількома тут присутні. І як я радію, що є молоді люди, що разом є разом з нами. Ми маємо високе покликання у цьому світі. Made in Ukraine. Ukrainian made is going to be a global brand. Never has the world been so Ukrainian. And if we can stay together, if we can thank each other, if we can build bridges, if we can apologize, if we can be generous, the sky's the limit. Слава Ісусу Христу!